Well, it's another beautiful day, and we have this incredible opportunity to talk to one of our patients all the way from Denmark. Her name is Inger Hardelis. And also, we have with us Dr. Galina Magalko, who is my associate and partner in research and publications and working with and helping people from all over the world. So I'm grateful that Dr. Galina is with us today. And I asked her to be part of this is because it's just been about very close to a decade when we first met. And so in thinking about this, particularly as it relates to, some very important information, and the important information we want to have you share is your experience in dealing with a terminal, and I'm going to say it as an adjective, not as a noun, but a terminal cancerous condition that is idiopathic, meaning there's no pathology to the cause, and they have the survival rate, even based on your oncologist on this particular diagnosis, is 0. And I've never heard that before, but I think this is important because, not that we're setting any records here, but, I will suggest that you're probably, as relates to this particular diagnosis that you received close to 10 years ago, probably the longest surviving person on the planet. It's actually beat this terminal condition, not by treating it, but you're going to explain here what you went through. But let's start right now. And Inger, could you just take a moment here and just introduce who you are, where you live, and because I want people to know you, that you're a real person, you had a real diagnosis, a real condition, and I want people to hear this story because your story can inspire a change and a saving of a life. And what's more important than changing lives and saving lives? So Inger, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thank you, Dr. Young, and thank you for inviting me. I'm really glad because I always said if I survive this special situation, I would share my story with the world. So now I got another chance. Thank you so much. I'm Inger Hartelius, and I was diagnosed with lung cancer, and it had spread to the lymph nodes around my spiserør in Danish. My
around your thyroid.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
the limbs around my
the
body.
lymph nodes in your neck. Yes.
Yeah, and along the lung, and I'm living in Denmark, and I lived there at that time too. And now, nearly 10 years after, I'm still here. Though the doctor told me that I probably wouldn't survive, or he knew I wouldn't. But here I am, still alive, and I tell you, I'm living a better life than I did before I got this.
Well, Inger, when you went to the doctors, why did you go to the doctors? I mean, did you have a cough? Did you have a fever? Were you just feeling bad? I mean, what was the reason that motivated you to go to your medical doctor and have a checkup?
I felt really bad. I had a lot of coughing. Sometimes I had fever. I was sweating in the nights. I had problems with keeping up with my work. So I felt really stressed. I had stomach issues, and I lost weight. So I really felt that there was something wrong. and that's why I contacted my doctor. And he sent me to the hospital because, no, in the beginning he sent me to a doctor who could test my stomach,
Okay.
a colonic test. And he asked me to go to radiation because he couldn't find anything in my
In your abdominal area, your
yeah,
stomach, yes,
yeah,
or in your colon.
yeah. And there he found, and then he saw a spot on my lung, and he asked me to get to a CT scan of the lungs.
Okay, so you had a CT scan, and probably Dr. Galina, you could probably talk a little bit about more about these diagnostic tests, because I mean that's your specialty as a medical doctor, specializing in medical diagnostics, and of course what's unique about you is that you actually do non-invasive medical diagnostics, which makes you a very unique doctor in the world today. So what is a CAT scan that Inger's speaking about?
So first of all, I'm so happy to see you, Inger. After all these years, we did all kind of non-invasive diagnostic tests for you at the ranch and in Europe, and you were coming for follow-up. And first of all, I just want to say that you're a wonderful person, very positive.
Thank you.
It's very, very important. And yes, you were giving us your testimonials and stories. It's very inspiring. And I remember in the beginning when I heard your story, I was inspired. Okay, this is a very unique condition. How can we help you to help yourself? And in regarding to diagnostic scans, as a medical doctor, I do understand that we benefit from diagnostic scans like CT scans if it's necessary to do. But if there is a way to do it non-invasive without radiation, then, you know, why not to do it? And we would like to educate patients all over the world that there are alternatives. You know, there is a way to do tests for lung scan, breast scan, and other scans without radiation. And when you came with your diagnostic information, we use that information for follow-up. But we wanted to introduce you also to non-invasive scanning, which you did several times. And you visually were able to understand them much easily because they're so visual, they're so colorful, they're very easy to understand. And I probably want you to talk a little bit more about that experience. But first, I would like you to tell us and everybody who's listening, how did you find Dr. Yan? How did you learn about PH Miracle program? And what was your first step to start doing what you did?
First, I'll tell that I searched, in the beginning, I searched for another treatment in Denmark because I didn't want the traditional treatment. But I couldn't find anything that met my expectations. But my son had been at a seminar where Tony Robbins had told about Dr. Robert Young. And he was sure that if he ever had a family member who got cancer, he would ask them to visit Dr. Young. And my son had heard that, so when he heard that I had cancer, he told me about Dr. Young, and we started searching at the internet.
And did you have any treatments before you met Dr. Young? Did you have any treatments in your country?
No.
Okay.
So
not
when you met with the doctor, they did a CT scan, they found a spot, and did they do it? I want to know because the only way they can diagnose cancer in this particular cancer is they have to do a biopsy.
yeah, they
Did
did
you have a
that too.
biopsy done?
Yes, that followed the CT scan.
I see.
Yeah.
And what did the biopsy determine? What did the doctor, the oncologist, from these tests, what did they diagnose you with? Just so everyone knows specifically.
They diagnosed me with this.
Okay,
You can't see it.
You got to hold it closer to your chest.
Like
Okay,
this.
so yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
I just want to say that this doesn't represent who you are, but it represents a condition that you were diagnosed based upon a CT scan and a biopsy, and you tested positive
yeah,
for pulmonary adenocarcinoma lung cancer.
yeah.
Now, before we go on to getting to the ranch, what did your doctor tell you about this condition? Did he tell you, I don't want to put any words into your mouth, but why don't you share with us what he told you that condition meant, that diagnostics meant?
He said it was a very, very serious diagnosis and that I would probably have 1 year left to live or perhaps even less. And that I had to follow their treatment to get a chance to live more than 3 or 4 months.
So if you didn't have treatment, your doctor, correct me if I don't have this accurate, but your doctor told you that he could extend your life from 3 months to 1 year if you had their conventional treatment, which here again is generally chemotherapy or radiation.
Chemotherapy and radiation, but he didn't say a year, he said some months or perhaps a year.
So a year would be the maximum. Okay, so
yeah.
So
and
folks,
that was what I saw on the what do you call that? When I went to the internet to see how long people would survive with this kind of diagnosis, I saw
statistics, right?
Yeah, statistics.
Mm-hmm.
It was no more than often they would die within a year, even with the treatment.
So
and nobody survived.
How did that make you? How did that make you feel? I mean, emotionally, how did you feel about this diagnosis?
First of all, I got very sad, but then I got really, I got a special feeling that I wanted to show that I could do something else that would help me.
Did you talk to your family about this prognosis, and what was the reaction from your family members?
My family was very sad too. Everybody were, but they helped me and supported me.
Okay.
And tried to find other solutions, and they really supported every step I took. And I think that's one of the reasons I managed to change lifestyle.
So you received your diagnosis, you received your prognosis by trained licensed medical professionals, oncologists, and radiologists, and you were sad, and wow, I mean, you've told us how you felt about this, and so you let's pick up. I think where you left off was with Tony Robbins, and that your son told you that he had been to a conference, and Tony Robbins was talking about Dr. Young's cancer protocol, the PH Miracle. And what did he suggest to you? What did the family suggest, and what did you decide to do?
We called the ranch to find out more about it, and we talked with Dr. Robert Young and with you, and you told us that we could come right now because you had a house ready for us, because you thought that this very serious diagnosis was really important that I could come. And he said I could bring my family and it wouldn't be more expensive if they all followed me. Except
So
from
who came with you, Inger?
my husband and my son and my daughter and my son's girlfriend.
Wow.
Yeah, that was.
And when was that, Inger? How many years ago?
It was in August 2011.
Okay,
So that's,
over 9 years ago.
yeah.
Okay,
It's,
so if you're looking at the timetable on this, now we're going back in time. You're at the ranch. Your family's there as your support system. Okay, all the people that you care about most, your family. So that was there intact. And what happened at the ranch? I mean, what was the first thing? Did you meet Dr. Galina Magalko? Did she do some non-invasive diagnostics for you?
At that time, I didn't get any tests from Dr. Galina, but I got a blood test from you the second day we were there. But I met Dr. Galina in Italy half a year later.
Okay, so 6 months later, you two met there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the picture behind me is actually, do you remember that picture?
I do believe
that's the Rancho del Sol, which is.
I tell you, it was like being in paradise. We really enjoyed that stay.
You know, what makes the Rancho del Sol so unique and so special is the people that come. And
thank you.
You being there made it that much special. And the thing that I found unique, that you were willing to think outside the box. You were willing to do whatever was necessary. And I want you to talk about what was necessary in order to, begin the path to a personal cure for your cancer. When I say cure, I mean not that we were providing that cure, but through your lifestyle and your personal choices, that you were responsible for that. Do you remember me telling you that you were responsible for your cancer and your cancer condition? Yeah.
Yes, I do, but I have to tell you that I already decided that I wouldn't leave my life in anybody's hands. I would take charge of that on my own, but I would find people who could support me. And I was so lucky I found the two of you. I'm so happy for that. So, and you gave me a lot of things to take care of in my life, and gave me a lot of good ideas how to change my life. For instance, you taught me to eat alkaline and drink a lot of water, pH water, to change the pH in my body. And I had massage every day. I was sitting in an infrared sauna. I had a very special kind of colonics that I can't get here in Denmark, but I got that at your place. And you served, or the ranch served the food every day. We had salt bath. And I say we because my family joined some of it too.
Well, you're all in the bathtub together? No.
Not all of us, but two of us sometimes.
No, two of you.
And in the sauna, it was like being in a special holiday together. And I forgot I was I was sick. And I felt better
So
most of the time.
what you just
I
said,
remember,
yeah, what you said was just
Sure.
really incredible. I just
I
want
would
to
like
point,
to ask,
I just want to point that out. What you said was you forgot you were sick. I mean,
yeah,
did everyone hear that? I mean, that's an incredible statement. Literally
yeah,
an incredible statement. Particularly when you before you came, you were feeling sick and you had all these symptomologies, and now you're
yeah.
in this environment saturated in love and light and alkalinity, and you forgot you were sick.
Yeah, I remember we had the younger yoga in the mornings, and I felt really high on that. I couldn't feel any problems in my body.
I'm hesitant to ask you what Younger Yoga is, but that's do you remember what we were doing in yoga?
Yeah, we were having a lot of fun using our bodies to make special ways of yoga
Yeah.
with a lot of movements and getting the respiration high. And I really loved that. And we were running at the ranch too. It was very special. And I didn't know I was able to do that.
Yeah, especially since you have a lung condition.
Yeah.
I mean, how was that when you're running and you need to take in more oxygen when you're exercising? How did that feel?
Fine. No problem.
Yeah. Dr. Galina, you had a question you wanted to.
yes, I had a question. Inger, can you tell us a little bit about your lifestyle and diet before you were diagnosed? Did you eat animal protein? Did you have dairy in your diet? Did you exercise? Can you a little bit, can you describe the way it was before versus, changes you experienced at the ranch?
Yeah. The problem was that I was living a very stressful life because we had to move from our house because there were mold in it. That was one problem. So we was
There you
fighting the and then at the work I was stressed, and then I was eating. In fact, I had been vegetarian, but I started eating meat and drinking a lot of coffee and eating chocolate and bread and cheese and all the things I know now it's not the best thing to put in my mouth. Yeah. So
was it difficult for you to change your lifestyle and diet after you met Dr. Yan, after you learned about healthy lifestyle and diet, after you tried different type of food and detoxification and physical activity? Was it difficult for you?
No, because I was very determined to follow the program, because I also saw other people at the ranch had followed the program and they felt so much better. And I could see that they had a better condition. And I loved the food. It was really delicious. And I felt really, I could feel the change in my body. So
how soon you start feeling changes? Days, weeks, months?
I think the first change was after a couple of days, and then some days I didn't feel very well. I lost my concentration, but but when it finished, it came back with a lot. It was so much better. So it was really easy.
So how long you were at the ranch?
Mm-hmm.
How long you were at the ranch first time? So it was several weeks?
2 weeks.
To be there?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I was there with my daughter 2 weeks and my son and my husband and the girlfriend after 1 week. But I decided to stay another week with my daughter. And Dr. Young was really kind and helped me. So it was really good.
Mm.
It was a big gift, and my family had learned to do the cooking. So my husband has done the cooking since. So that has been really good. And all family, when when they come here, they eat alkaline, and some of them still are eating alkaline.
Okay, and when you went back to your country, did you have follow-up diagnostic scans with your doctor? Did you visit your doctor? Did you have a doctor's appointment again to maybe for blood test or any other tests?
Yeah, I had blood tests, and I went to a lung doctor who tested my lungs, not by radiation, but by what do you call that? When you breathe in a machine and they can see how your lung is functioning.
Mhm.
And he was really surprised. And after a year, he said, "You can't have any lung cancer with this test results."
So
I
your
was
doctor
really
was very supportive, right?
yeah. I had my medical doctor and the lung doctor.
Oh, that's great. That's really
Yeah.
great. Did they ask you what you're doing? Were they curious about your protocol?
Yes, they were.
did. Great, great.
And they also told me about to some of their patients, and they contacted me, but many of them had radiation and chemo before, so they often gave up before they started because they
See,
were,
like caring is sharing. So you
yeah,
were sharing your knowledge, your experience, and you actually motivated a lot of people who were contacting you. And we still giving your number with your permission to some of our patients so they can hear directly from your experience, because it's very, very valuable.
thank
And
you.
then we met in Italy, right? So we hold international wellness retreats all over the world, in India and Europe, Italy, Hungary, Spain, and Como Italy Retreat Center. And can you tell us a little bit more about that?
After half a year, I went to Italy to see you and Dr. Young there, and you made the first scan, and Dr. Young made blood tests. I had ultrasound and what is it called, the other scan? Demography.
Yeah.
And already there, you told me that you couldn't see any signs of cancer anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after 2 weeks in Taisana, we did a follow-up scans, and we had pictures before and after.
That's true.
You
Yeah,
came with
I forgot that.
result to
Yeah.
Taisana after 2 weeks on alkaline lifestyle and diet with specific exercises, with organic, nutritious, alkaline food, mostly green, with lectures every night, alkalizing colonics program. We did your follow-up, and your result was incredible.
Yeah, I remember.
Incredible.
I forgot that.
Yes, you came with your beautiful daughter, and we were walking in the park and along the river. And I personally had great time with all of our patients and clients, but specifically you, because your energy just, amazingly beautiful. And it's very, very important, because from my observation and experience working with patients, I see that so many uh, things, very, very important for positive recovery, not only what you eat and what you drink and environment you live in. And that is very, very important, because you mentioned that your house was problematic. You had mold in your house. That's very, very important. That probably contributed to your condition. But
Mhm.
also I noticed that if our patients and clients have such a positive outlook, such a beautiful view, at everything around them, nature and food you eat, you enjoy, and you put your beliefs in what you do. And the most important also, if you have family support, friends support, doctors support, then you have all puzzles for a beautiful picture for a recovery. Like you are the most beautiful example of that recovery. So I really enjoyed time with you and Dr. Yan and all our patients, our beautiful group, because experiences like that is literally life-changing experiences
Mhm.
for everyone. Because if you for 2 weeks not only learn what food is good for you, but you can experience how to make green soup in Vitamix, how to, you know, uh, combine food, how to make green milk by combining almond milk and green juice. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes. So all these experiences changing you forever, because it's not only you learn what to do, but you also feel that this kind of lifestyle is a
Mhm.
life changing, not only for you, but for your family members. And it's not only feelings that you had symptom and you don't have it anymore, but we also have diagnostic, medical, non-invasive, non-radioactive technology to see your
Mhm.
numbers before and after. We can check your anatomy, we can check your physiology, functionality. We can have quantitative information of your blood and qualitative information of your blood. And when you see before and after, knowing what you did produce that kind of result,
Yeah.
and for me, it's from our people.
Yeah.
Dr. Yan, did you have questions?
Yeah, I do. As I was listening to Dr. Galina, I was thinking about some of the things that when you're away, let's say from a place like the Rancho del Sol, or when you're away from a place like Taisana, which are literally places of healing. And, it's medical vacations have become very, very popular. And of course, you actually acknowledged that by saying you forgot you were sick and you felt like you're with your family on a vacation. I mean, shouldn't that be the hospital experience, especially
Exactly.
when you're
Yeah.
dealing with a degenerative condition or a terminal condition with a prognosis of zero, and now it's 10 years later. I mean, you're in Denmark, and you live in a beautiful environment. You're outside the city, away from the air pollution and a lot of the electromagnetic pollution. But I don't know if you remember this or not. Do you remember when I asked you to test your urine pH with the pH paper?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know if you're still doing
Mhm.
that or not. I haven't asked you that question for years, but how important the pH of your urine is, because it's a reflection of the fluids that surround every cell in the human body called the interstitial fluids, which
Mhm.
actually is the largest organ of the human body called the interstitium. And so you were testing your urine at the ranch, you were testing your urine at Taisana, and you were testing your urine at home. And are you still doing that?
Yeah. I do that sometimes. If
Okay.
I
And
if I
what
if
is
I
the
want to
pH of your urine running generally?
where it is now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is the paper when you test this litmus paper,
Mhm.
uh, I'm not going to demonstrate a urine sample, but uh, this right here should be a green color, correct?
Yeah. And mine is 859 every time.
Now I want you to hear that number, because medical science perceives that normal is a very broad range from 5.5 to 7.5. And sometimes they'll even say a little bit higher. But you learned that you need to keep your interstitial fluids above 8, even 9. And that's what you were showing coming from your urine was a very high pH. And so for people to understand, when you're testing your urine, you're actually testing the fluids that surround all the cells. And your cells are only as healthy as the water they're bathed in. So when we're teaching people about a cancerous condition, we're telling people that cancer is not a condition of the cell. It's not that the cell is degenerating. It's that the fluids in which the cell is living in has deteriorated. So it's about the context. It's about the environment. It's about the fluids in which cells find themselves. And from that, if it's polluted, in all cancer cases, people are in a state of acidosis. It's called decompensated acidosis of the interstitial fluids. That is reflected in your urine. So what I was teaching you about your cancerous condition is that cancer is not a disease. It's a symptom of fluid toxicity. And so what we did is we divested yourself of this attacking the cell or killing cancer cells to cleaning up the environment, restoring the alkaline design of the fluids so that cells can thrive in that environment, which they do, rather than break down in pollution. So the problem with cancer is not in the cell. The cancer is the pollution within the solutions, and the actual solution is the dilution of the acidity. And this is why you had your success. So it's not that cancer is terminal, is that the treatments that are being proposed literally create the terminal nature by polluting the environment and accelerating the process of cellular breakdown, which leads to death. So it's an environmental problem. So what we do is hyperperfuse alkalinity. And so that's what we were testing for. While you came to the ranch, when you came to Taisana, we were teaching you that you must take responsibility for your health, that you need to change that you wanted to see, that if you wanted to be cancer-free, it was you, not me, not Dr. Galina, but you had to take personal responsibility for your health. And that's what's so unique with all of those who have survived cancer and terminal cancer. Based on a 3-year study, 81% of terminal cancers with less than 6 months to live survived because they did exactly what you're doing. And that's why you're the longest living person in the world with this particular condition, because no one's ever survived pulmonary adenocarcinoma. Now that is significant. It's not only significant because it saved your life, but how many other lives could it save? How many more lives could it improve to extend the quality and quantity of life, rather than giving some sort of fake diagnosis and prognosis and limit your thinking? What you did, Inger, is you literally thought beyond, looking for something else. And those people that have done that are the ones that are still living today. You were intuitive enough and connected to who you really are on a spiritual level to realize that what you were doing, was going to affect that. So what did you do? You changed your diet, correct? And what did you do? You started drinking alkaline water, correct?
Yes.
And what did you do? You started taking alkalizing supplements, right? Like Forsalts and
yes.
Right? And you started improving your circulation with L-arginine and other anti-inflammatories. So you were using a food nutritional support that was supported by synergistic formulations that were focused not on treating any specific disease, but altering the internal environment while eliminating acidic waste. So,
Inger, I have a question. And actually, just remembering few moments from our about life, and you were asking questions. I hear from many of our patients, like, why this is happening to me. I mean, I'm a good person, living a good life, having a beautiful family. Why this is happening to me? And based on that conversation, we came to a conclusion, that things happen for a reason. And if you learn from something maybe you don't even like, things happening. And I'm not going to go to a lot of examples, but your example, cancer, right? And so important to learn from this. And if you even think that, okay, I'm in this situation, what can I learn? How can I make things better with no side effect, with no harm to my body? And remember, I told you, maybe your experience will inspire so many people around the world.
Well, in fact,
Maybe
you
your
actually,
recovery, they in a medical book, in a research. Hello?
Yeah,
Yes, in a
sorry,
research
you broke
study.
up. Yeah.
And what I would like you to do, and a lot of people want a practical application from your experience. Maybe you can describe what exactly you did in Taisana from early morning to late evening, and what is your schedule right now at home? How do you start your day? What do you do during the day? What you eat during the day? How you exercise? Like, you walking with your family, like your husband or daughter? What are you talking about? What is your outlook, at everything around you? Can you describe your experience so people can learn exactly what can be done?
wow, that would be a long story, but I can try. But in the morning, I drink. The first I do is I drink salt and L-arginine and chlorophyll and greens. And then many days I go for a run near the beach. I run 4-5 kilometers or walk sometimes.
That's great. Wonderful.
And then when I come home, I eat my breakfast, and my husband has made it. It's made of avocados and
Are you
lemon.
talking about green smoothie, green shakes?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Do you have your favorite recipe?
Yeah, it's avocado, cucumber,
Okay.
and I can't remember, spinach and lemon. And
Salt?
my husband eats it with salt, but I don't. I like it better without salt. But I drink the salt, and then
And do you use alkaline water,
oil.
or you use almond milk?
I use oil, yeah, and then some days I drink alkaline milk, almond milk, and the greens made from
So that's
celery
green
and
milk, yeah.
cucumber.
Almond milk
Yeah, green.
with greens, yeah. Chlorophyll and
Yeah,
super greens, yeah.
yeah. And then often I work, and then and sometimes I don't run, but I go by car to my work. And if I'm home, I eat breakfast that we made the day before, so it's ready for the breakfast. It's sometimes soups or veggies in some different ways. Never meat or cheese or bread or things like that.
What about coffee or tea?
I don't drink coffee and tea. I drink water.
And what about chocolate?
I never eat chocolate. I stopped that many years ago.
What about
Inger, do you use a rebounder or trampoline?
I have a rebounder and I have a sauna. I use that, and I make foot bath in salt sometimes. yeah, and then the evening I eat veggies too, and soups, and sometimes I have a smoothie there too. So I gained a lot of weight
That's
sometimes,
good. You look great.
but not too much because I was too slim. So
Yes.
it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now you actually reversed the aging process. So now you're in your 40s, correct?
I don't know, but I hope so. That would be nice. I want to live with my grandchildren, so that would be nice.
Yeah.
That was my aim, to be ready, be able to experience my grandchildren, get children. So
You know, in December, we heard about this Wuhan virus, right? It's associated with the novel coronavirus. And in January,
yeah,
uh, you felt like you might have been exposed to something. What were the symptoms that you had in January?
I was more tired, and I had a little coughing, and
And,
I
and
don't
what
know
did,
if it
and
was.
what did you do about that? Did you go to the doctor and get a
Yeah, I use the nebulizer.
nebulization?
Yeah, yeah, and I did that. I do that sometimes because
And
it
what did you use with your nebulizer? What did you inhale?
glutathione and
Glutathione, okay.
and
N-acetylcysteine,
NAC
And
and then
acetylcysteine
NOC,
and glutathione
and defense.
in
and
defense.
defense.
Yeah,
And from the beginning of those symptoms, how long did it take for those symptoms to go away?
only 1 or 2 days.
So are you suggesting that you didn't test for this, but because no one was testing, there was no such thing as a
No,
RT-PCR
it was
test.
in the beginning. Nobody knew.
Nobody, the symptoms that we didn't learn till after, but when you look back on it, you had some of the key symptoms of a so-called phantom virus named the COVID-19, which is of course associated with COVID-2 and the novel coronavirus, which was theoretically discovered in 1964. But those symptoms are fever, they're low energy or fatigue, and dry cough. And those were some of the symptoms you had?
Yeah, but the reason why I think it might have been that, but is that my son came from Australia, and he had been in China on his way home, and he got a really severe problems with coughing and having
Okay.
breathing problems. And my husband got it too, but I don't know. It might have been because
What did your husband
the
do?
way of living. I don't know.
Yeah, what did your husband do to help his symptoms during that time?
He started after some time. He started eating alkaline, totally alkaline again, and he used the nebulizer, and it changed for him
Yeah.
after a week or
Okay, so
yeah.
so symptoms can be explained as the body's forced expulsion
Mhm.
of waste that's building up in the system. And once that waste is gone, by using the pH Miracle protocol, then the symptoms go away.
Yeah,
Very simple. And it usually takes
Mhm.
between 24 to 72 hours.
yeah.
And that's been our experience with this.
Is this what happened to your daughter Tia? The same thing?
Yes,
Did she have symptoms?
yes, he got symptoms, she got symptoms and she got tested.
And she was quarantined for 14 days, but she's now out of quarantine and she's asymptomatic. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. She
Okay.
has no symptoms anymore.
Yeah. Well, did she follow the same alkaline
Great.
protocol?
Yeah, really strict. Yeah. We brought food for her in her house because she couldn't get out. So
Well, let's just take a minute and get back to you, because because, you know, I don't know if you've heard the saying, pay it forward. Have you heard that saying before? Pay it forward. Now that
No?
you've been helped, you help others. It's called pay it forward.
Okay.
Rather than pay it back. I mean, I've never asked for anything from you other than once in a while have these little conversations because I believe that they're helping people, but that's a way in which we all pay it forward.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a year and a half or so ago, March 2019, you joined us at the International Conference on Oncology and Cancer Therapy. Do you remember that in March of 2019 in London, England?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I joined you with my sister. Yeah.
Yeah. And Dr. Galina and I were there.
You were,
And
yes.
you were in pH balance, which pH stands for perfect health. So you were in perfect health. And we were happy to be there because you shared your story to the oncologists, to the medical world there in London, while Dr. Galina and I was announcing a universal cure for cancer. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
It was a very special experience, yeah, being with all these doctors. Yeah. And they were surprised, I think.
Yeah, they were shocked. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if their tongues are on or their jaws are on the table or what, but yeah, they were shocked. And especially to hear someone, a real person, not just a statistic, you know, not just a number on or a picture, but a real person who traveled all the way from Denmark to share something very, very important, that there is a cure for cancer. And it's not treating cells. It's by changing the environment, which can be done by anyone who's been diagnosed. All it is an environmental problem. And so that's what we shared there, a little more science than that. But I wanted to thank you for paying it forward, you know, and how grateful I am that you're alive and that you can share your story, not only to the millions of people who are going to hear this or see this video, but to share with doctors, because, you know, I was just with a brain surgeon yesterday who has left the medical profession so that he can truly help people with brain cancer and brain disease. And so more and more doctors are learning and becoming somewhat frustrated because they want to do more for their patients. They got into medicine for the right reasons. And that was to, you know, make people's lives better. And that's why I appreciate you and especially appreciate Dr. Galina Michalko so much, is because it's not about me. It's not about her, other than when we're taking care of our own bodies. But after that, I strongly believe in paying it forward. It's about serving humanity. And so I wanted to thank you for that. And then also, you may want to mention that you went just recently back to your doctor, and your doctor actually wrote up a statement that was then published in an article that was published throughout Denmark. And I think you got a lot of attention on that. But why don't you just take a minute and read what your doctor told you after he saw you for your follow-up appointment, which happened, you know, about just a few months ago. Actually, about a year ago, to be exact.
In fact, it's nearly 5 years.
Oh, it's 5 years. Okay. Thank you for correcting me. It seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
But what did he say after 5?
Okay. I can read what he wrote to me. Or in fact, he wanted me to send it to you to support you in the work you are doing. And he wrote, the patient found help from Dr. Robert Young, Valley Center, GA, in California, who started a program which didn't only give complete remission, but continuous remission of the patient's cancer. which is remarkable and unique and can only be related to the program. Normal expected survival rate with conventional medical treatment and radiation is 0%. And at the hospital, the doctor who saw me when 5 years after the diagnosis came to have a CT scan.
A CT
He told me,
scan, yeah.
what do you call that? Yeah, he told me that nobody statistic could survive this cancer, and he asked me if I was sure I really had this diagnosis. But he could see at the photos he had from the earlier scans that.
And the biopsy.
Yeah, and the biopsy that it was.
Yeah.
Like that, but he couldn't see any lymph nodes that were bigger. They were small, like they should be, and later at the beginning they had been too big. So he could see that there really had been a change. But he said, "This is not true. This can't happen." But it did happen to me.
Inger, now you have an opportunity to speak to millions all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to people who's listening and watching, you know, your presentation, your testimonial? How would you, in years of very unique experience, going through very stressful moments in the beginning, making decisions, using your belief and family support and researching, analyzing, going through a lot of changes, what would you say to those who are really searching for the answer?
Of course, I would suggest, and that's what I do, listen to my story and take a choice, because you have a choice. Often people think there's only one way, and that's what the traditional treatment gives you. But there are other choices, and the choice I took was supporting me so much. So I'm here alive after 9.5 years. And I feel even better than I did before I started this alkalizing process. So please remember, you have a choice, and the two people you see here, they have a lot of good ideas to how you can support yourself to heal any problem you have in your body, I think.
Thank you so much, Inger. We truly believe that every client and patient in our life can be a teacher or a student. A student if they want to learn from us, and obviously a teacher because we learn from every single person who come to us asking for help. So your story is so inspiring. We learn so much from you, about you, you know, and we hope you learn from us, because doctor, if you translate doctor, translation for that word is a teacher. So what we do, we learn. Slogan is education instead of medication and radiation, instead of medication and vaccination, and so on. So thank you so much for your beautiful testimonials, and I hope that this video will go viral, because it's not only about lung cancer, any cancerous condition, diabetes, heart problems, and you name it, because if we support, you know, our internal environment with healthy eating and healthy drinking, healthy thinking, it's not about stress, but what we do about stress, you know, how we manage stress. And how we communicate with loved ones and people around us, people we work with and live with. So it's all together, so many puzzles, like I said, to the big picture. And thank you so much for sharing your story. It's priceless. It's literally priceless today, tomorrow, and for many, 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 many years. And we wish you all the best from our hearts. When you were telling your story, even I knew it, I lived it. I always have goosebumps because it makes me so happy. I'm so happy for you, for your husband, your daughter, your son. And I'm sure Dr. Yan feels the same. We always talk about you. We give you as an example to many patients who have a doubt, what choice to make. And like you said, we do have a choice because this is your body, your life, your decision, your family. You're in charge.
Exactly.
So thank you so much, and my best wishes for all of you. And we are so happy to be part of your life, part of your recovery, and we are so grateful for the result we can hear and see.
Thank you, Dr. Galina. I want to echo those sentiments and just express my love and gratitude to you, Inger, and having the courage to walk a path that very few walk, but you had the courage to do it, and so you're really, a hero, and definitely someone that should be recognized for your courage, for making a choice that very few people have the ability to make. But you trusted your true self, you trusted your soul, and rather than your mind, and from that you're the result of a great decision that's affected not only your life but your husband's and your children and uh, and your grandchildren. How many do you have any grandchildren?
I have one and one on the way.
Well, there you
He will be
go.
born at Christmas, so that's nice.
Oh, what a great gift.
Yeah.
What a great present. In fact, the present that I can give to each of you is to remember that living now is the gift, is the present. So when you stay present, you're literally enjoying that gift, and in gratitude, just enjoying all the wonderful day that you have ahead of you in this beautiful day. And you've done this one day at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 year at a time. And now here we are 9.5 years later. You're in total remission. You are, a beautiful example of the pH miracle and the efficacy of the pH miracle, and a testament of the truth of the pH miracle. So I thank you for that, because a lot of people don't understand that the pH miracle is a natural phenomenon between the cause and effect relationship. It's not understood by medical science, but now you have been empowered. And so paying it forward like you're doing, and like Dr. Galina and I have been doing for, close to 40 years, we're just grateful to be part of this experience, and in serving others, changing lives and saving lives. So I'm going to, with your permission, put the link of your story that they can read with some of your past video presentations at Thai Sauna that you presented, some interviews, and I'll go ahead and put that link so people can watch this. They can go to a link. If you want to find out more about the pH miracle or about Dr. Galina Migalko, you can go to universalmedicalimaging.com. If you want to find out about me, my CV, my experience, read scientific articles, there's 3,000 of them, over 70 books, you can go to drrobertyoung.com. And then we've actually featured you there on that website so people can learn, because what's the worth of a soul? I mean, it's priceless. Your life is priceless. And it doesn't matter what color you are, we all bleed red. And traveling to 150 countries, I don't care if I'm in Africa or India or Australia or the United States or Mexico or Sao Paulo, Brazil, when I look at blood, it all expresses the same color and the patterns are the same. So there's really the commonality that we have with with each of us is the fact that blood is the foundational element of all body cells. And when a sperm fertilizes an egg, a blood drop appears. And it's not a black blood, it's not brown, it's not yellow, it's actually blue, okay? But when it hits oxygen, it turns red. It's actually red when it hits oxygen. So once again, Inger, thank you for sharing your life experience for the last 9 years. Thank you for your courage. You are a worldwide hero, and I want to honor you for that. Dr. Galina Migalko is another hero in my life, and I'm so grateful for her. And I just want to share that publicly because she has done so much for humanity in introducing things. So one last thing, and then we'll say goodbye. If you want to watch our latest documentary, go to thriveon.com and watch the trailer. It's what we can do about this. And then Dr. Galina Migalko is also featured in a documentary, which is on the war on women's breast, where she's actually talking about mammograms and how radiation is one of the contributing factors to a cancerous condition in its cumulative effects. So she's in that documentary. And I'll have some links there too, you know, of close to 1,000 educational videos where you can learn more, or you can get, I think the book that you got, that you first read, which is this book here, The pH Miracle. And if you could have one book, you know, besides the Bible in your house, I would suggest this would be the second book that you really ought to consider. But once again, thank you, Inger. Dr. Galina, do you have any last things to say, or are we good to go?
I'm just grateful for you, grateful for Inger, grateful for so many patients who believed in us, who believed in the teaching. You know, we trying to happy that what people saves lives. And like Dr. Yan said, it's your life and you need to take care of yourself. And if we can contribute with our research and knowledge, that is so wonderful. We feel that this is our mission and we do what we do. We're excited, we're passionate, and we're not gonna stop, that's for sure. And I want you to spread this message to everyone you know, doesn't matter what kind of scary diagnosis they have, because if we take care of our body, internal environment around us and inside of us, this is the key, because your body knows what to do. You just need to provide the building blocks for your house, because it's not only the house we live in, but this is our house. We need to clean this house. We need to give all the nutrients, good water, good thoughts, surround ourselves with good people. And this is the key. And just one more time, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope that very soon we will be able to travel again. And we're planning to go to Europe for pH Miracle retreats and maybe other countries. And we invite you and your family to join us, not for the treatment, but for prevention. Okay, because, and also as an inspiration, because you can inspire our clients and everybody who will join, because you are the best example. Thank you, Inger. We love you and we wish you all the best.
Inger, you have the last words here.
Oh, thank you so much for being in the world and for being there for me when I needed you the most. I got so much inspiration and so much. You taught me so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, thank you, and I wish you all the best. But I hope you just have an incredible day and an incredible week, an incredible month, an incredible year, and God bless you and your family. All the best. Take
All
care.
the best to
Bye-bye.
you. Bye bye.